Tribe, and welcome to the 7 Empowered Eating Sabotages. So these are the 7 sabotages that you have that cause you to emotionally binge eat as an adult. And where does this all come from? So we have coding, which is the things that happen to you as a child, generally from the ages of 0 to 7. And then what happens, we create a thought and belief about ourselves. Then we spend the rest of our lives backing up that thought and belief and gathering evidence to make this true. And then that becomes who you are today. And with that comes emotional binge eating. And if you're watching this video, you are possibly an emotional eater, a stress eater, or a binge eater, and you use food to deal with emotions as opposed to what actually is really going on. So this video is about not being safe, about being seen. And what happens here is that my clients have been bullied as a child, or felt that the teacher picked on them and made them a victim in front of the class, or their cousins picked on them and it wasn't safe for them to be seen, because if they get seen, they get bullied. Or this one is a really sad story where a client was learning to play piano and the parents gave them a piano as a gift when their sister passed away. And when the sister passed away, they made a thought and belief after the parents said, oh, if your sister hadn't passed away, we wouldn't have been able to afford this piano. So then my client shrunk away and no longer decided to shine because there was this guilt about the piano wouldn't have been there if it wasn't for the sister's death. So that is a really sad and heartbreaking story about being in the spotlight and how it's unsafe and guilt around being in the spotlight. So you might have, unfortunately, unwanted sexual attention as a child, or as, you know, that 12-year-old, 13-year-old you that starts to develop breasts and starts to really look like a woman. And at that age, you don't know how to deal with attention, but you get some random on the street that gives you unwanted attention. Suddenly you close up and it's not safe for you to be seen, and you wear baggy shirts, or you trying to hunch over your shoulders so nobody sees your breasts. All of these things about not being seen because it's unsafe to be seen. And the worst case scenario of this was with one of my clients who had sexual trauma. And what happens is that she keeps this layer of fat around her body like a little marshmallow suit because it keeps her safe. And if she's chubby, then no one can actually see her and no one can give her that unwanted attention that she received when she was younger. So it's very hard for her to actually lose the marshmallow suit until we go back and look at all this coding from her childhood as to why she feels so unsafe, and how that unwanted attention is actually still her being victim, because those people that did it, they're not even thinking about her anymore. And here she is in such a state that she's binging every single night because she doesn't feel safe. And that's heartbreaking, because to her, be safe is having a layer of fat around her body so that she doesn't get seen by anybody. So this is what it can actually manifest as, and that is the saddest story I've heard. And I'm sure that there are many more like this where women are protecting themselves with a layer of fat so they don't actually get seen. And if this is what's working for you as a strategy, of course you're going to keep on doing it. And I suggest, if it is trauma, please go get help, because you won't be able to change the marshmallow suit until you actually work through the trauma. And trauma is not my specialty, I'm just saying. Please go see a psychologist for that one, so that you can actually break through and have an empowered relationship with food, because you can feel safe in your own skin and step up and be the woman that you're meant to be. So I want to probably go on a little lighter note, and some of the I don't want to be seen behavior, or don't want to be visible, could be you just not socializing. So you get to stay home and be a hermit because you don't want to be judged by other people out in the social world. So you stay home with your cat. Things like that, where you don't want to be seen and you don't play life out at a higher level. and you don't actually take any risks in life because you don't want to be seen. So these are things like wearing completely black clothing because, again, you don't want to be seen, or you don't go to the gym and exercise because you don't want to be seen. There's all these little things that you're currently doing in your present world about not being seen, where actually it comes from your unsafe coding as a child that it's unsafe to be seen because someone bullied you, or there's all those different reasons that you could be sabotaging your current results about not being seen. And unfortunately, that does come from your childhood. So the idea of these videos is just so that you can identify why you're sabotaging your results. Why are you sabotaging your empowered relationship with food? And if I can help you change your behavior, because awareness precedes change, then you can step up into that space of being an empowered woman. You show up differently in the world. You make an impact on the community because you shine brighter and you have confidence, and you can be a great role model to your nieces and nephew or your own children, or you could go after that promotion at work, or have that real inner confidence that everybody is drawn to. And you deserve that. And it is my legacy to touch, move, and inspire women to have an empowered relationship with food. And that's why I make these videos. And if this one has resonated with you, please share it. Put it up on Facebook or share it with a friend if you think that it could help someone, because I really want to help the world. And I do that by starting with you that's watching this video, and you can share it so I can get the message out there so that women can have an empowered relationship with food, and then they can have empowered relationships in other areas of their life. So I will talk to you next week with the next video of why you are sabotaging your empowered relationship with food, and help you move forward from this. Thank you, and have a great